Whoa, hey there guys, it's me, Aaron, and I'm here to explain to you that for this episode, Josh happened to be recording this in space, which is the reason why his audio sounds so stinky. So, sorry about that. Don't worry though, next episode Josh will definitely be back down on Earth, safe and sound, and not in the middle of fucking dead space. Enjoy.
Okay, welcome to the technically second episode of our podcast.
Yes, hello. Welcome to the semi-annual Crackcast recording session.
God.
We're here today celebrating.
It's technically not our second episode. We recorded a lot of them, like 2 years ago.
I'm just too lazy to edit them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, enjoy what's canonically the 15th episode, but for sake of simplicity, this is the second episode for our channel. The Closet Crew. So, enjoy as we talk about stupid shit. And, yeah. Anyway. So...
Yeah. And actually, technically, there is a second episode uploaded onto the channel, but it just wasn't unprivated.
What?
There is. I checked it, like, yesterday. It's weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The lost episode?
The lost episode.
Crabcast, the lost episode, my god. That's crazy. We're gonna have a creepypasta about us.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so weird. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So, basically, we got our motivations back because we're not really doing much considering we're in the middle of a giant quarantine lockdown and all that shit. So, I was just like, we were just on a Discord call and we were just talking about how bad the new Black Ops games were. And they were
not the new Black Ops games, the new just in general.
The new Call of Duty games.
Yeah. Or not a brand new. I will say I never brought up the most recent one, Modern Warfare. It's good. It's very realistic, like good, but
yes, so real.
Yeah.
This is so real. I can shoot a man with a gun 15 times before he died.
Yeah, but the OGs, man, like go arguably Ghost and before, like.
Yeah. So, we're making this second episode motivated by how much we do not like the new entries in the Call of Duty games.
Yeah. I just want the old days where I just go in Black Ops 2, there's people fucking screaming in voice chat and then just attempting to quick-scope people.
Yeah. Unfortunately, by the time Black Ops 2 and a lot of the more, I guess, OG, original, what people would say, like the golden age of Call of Duty, I guess, I was too young for Call of Duty. My parents wouldn't let me play it, and whenever they did, I would be supervised, and I would only allowed to play with my dad or my brother on local split screen. So, I was very restricted when it comes to that. But from what I saw when I watched my dad play the game, because for some reason I was able to watch him play it, but I wasn't able to actually play it myself. Whenever I watched them play the game, I always thought it looked really fun. I always enjoyed it. I thought it just looked really cool. I never played Black Ops 2 online. I'm sure if I did, I would probably enjoy it. But the only online I've played for any kind of Call of Duty game would be Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. That's what I did. And it was It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not too interesting.
I don't have many opinions on Black Ops 4 because I never played it actively. I maybe played like a few games of it, and I was like, oh, I get it.
I played it for like a day or so, and I can definitely tell you it is. A lot of people say that it's bad, but because of it's still bad, but it can be fun. And I can see that a bad game can always still be fun, but for me, it wasn't fun because it was just boring.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't boring. It was like it was very lacking.
It was a weird.
It was very lacking. Yeah, it was really strange departure from the normal formula. And I'm all for change when it comes to game series. It's necessary before your brand gets stale, and obviously Call of Duty has been going on for so long. If you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, people, well, obviously that you're very, that isn't a very good argument considering EA has been doing it with all their soccer games for years now, but people will eventually get tired of it, and they'll see like, yeah, this isn't really fun anymore because I've been doing this every single time. Why do I need to buy a new entry in the series when I can just continue playing the one I have and it's the exact same?
Yeah, and that's why I'm not particularly I wasn't like mad when they added like the enhanced movement, but it just didn't feel like what COD should have felt like. I felt like they should have gone more like a closer to how Rainbow Six kind of is direction, where it's like a more strategic shooter, which
I can
it's
see that.
hard.
That would
going from if they just went from like Ghosts, which is like generally like actually I guess like I know more about BO2, so I'll just go there, where it's fast and fun,
very fast-paced
and crazy,
and just,
like
yeah. Lots of stuff going on.
And then going from that to like a super like strategic slow shooter where you're rewarded for like methodical like just smart plays. It would be weird, but I would have much rather like enjoyed it a lot more than Advanced Warfare.
The thing is, going back to their advanced movement thing they did, it just feels really off. Well, it doesn't feel off. Actually, I thought it was pretty cool. But the only complaint I had with it is that they really did almost nothing with it. Their maps were all pretty much the exact same as they were in the other games. They were typically flat, maybe a few hills that go up to a different level, maybe a two-story house, but they were very flat, and they felt like you couldn't really do many of your moves. Like, I know you had a wall climb, you had a slide, you had a double jump. Did you have a double jump? I think you did.
Or we're talking about BO3, right?
BO3.
Yeah.
BO3. Yeah, you had a double jump in that, and it felt cool.
Or you had a thrust, kind of.
A thrust? Okay, yeah. So, it felt neat to use it. I always thought it was pretty cool, but almost every map I played on with it, it felt underused. Like, at most, you could use it to climb a wall to take a very minor shortcut. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
You couldn't, there were no places where you could, like, use the thrust in order to get the jump on someone from, like, a height advantage, or you could use the slide in order to go underneath a certain spot in order to flank players. It never felt like they ever utilized that correctly. It feels just really out of place and awkward.
I'm the opposite. I feel like there are a lot of maps where you had to use it, and it was weird.
Well, there's a difference between forcing the player to use it and making the environment be able to use it. Well, forcing the player to use it just kind of makes it annoying at that point, because you think, I have these special moves, I want to use them strategically. You don't want to think, okay, I have these special moves, I need to use them to get under this thing. You don't want to think of that whenever you try and do special moves like this, unless it's for, like, if it's different for when it's like shooters and FPSs. you want to have those like special movement options in order to give the player more options to like think outside the box and be like, okay, I can get the jump on the people from over here, and I can go blah 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 over there, over there, over here. That's another. I'm not the biggest fan of Rainbow Six, but I think they pulled it off pretty well. They're not like they keep it pretty set in stone. They don't have any magic thrusters or anything, but I think that game really has some neat mechanics, like the grapple system they have. That's really good because it allows you not to just walk through the house or whatever building in order to get to your point. You can scale the building too. There's multiple options in order to go through. You can, last I remember, you can smash through like glass through like one of the maps on the roof, and that's a tactical option. There's a lot of different ways you can go about things, and that allows the players to think and strategize on like, okay, how am I going to surprise the players and get the upper hand?
Yeah.
It's
And then also another point, like there wasn't anything stopping you from just flying all the way up above someone so they can't see you, which I felt was really weird. I feel like there should have been something that stopped you from just constantly using it to be like way too high. Because, like, I would just be playing. I very much did not use it. Like, I only used it when I had to run across a wall to get over a gap or whatever. But then I would just be, like trying to do my stuff, and someone would fly up, like, 50 miles above me with a shotgun and snipe me.
That's shotgun.
It's so weird. Where in Titanfall, where it was Titanfall 2, like, because Titanfall 2 or 1 was still, I still enjoyed it. There was just like not any incentive to keep playing, so I just went back to other games. But Titanfall 2, it's like, yeah, people can fly up above you, but they're also like, you can hear their jumps, you are able to see them clearly, because most of the time there'll be like a trail behind them too. So like there's that visual indicator, like, okay, there's a person there. And also the radar was just good. In general, God, Titanfall. I wish Titanfall 2 wasn't put right in between Battlefield 1 and Infinite Warfare. Like, literally within that 5-day gap, there's those 3 games, and Titanfall 2 just got the short end because Titanfall 1 was kind of under everything else.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It just underperformed. Like, it was still great. I still loved it, but it just everything else was still really good. And it's like 2 major AAA titles and 1 second game in a franchise had a kind of poor first game that people were kind of disappointed about. Like, obviously it's not going to do as good. So, but if it just, like the story is fucking amazing. Like, campaign was great. I loved it. And I played it multiple times because it's just so fun to play.
Yeah.
And like I just wish Titanfall kept going.
Yeah. I've never played a single Titanfall game in my life. I've heard plenty about it. I've heard it's amazing. You've told me it's amazing. You've told me why it's awesome, and it sounds really fun. The movement from what you described to me sounds phenomenal. It looks fun. I've watched people play it before. It looks fun as hell to control.
Watch, like, I know the speedruns are all like super glitchy and stuff, but it's still just because most of the things people will do is they'll go super fast, because in the campaign, or I'm pretty sure what happens in the campaign is there's no speed limit. There's no set cap where you'll just stop speeding up. so you can just fly. like,
crazy.
and in the campaign, you're doing like a lot of wall running and stuff. Like a lot of the game is parkour.
That's good. That's
And
good.
it's
That's what you
super
focus on.
fun. And I watched a video on this, just like, and it got me back to play the campaign again. Where every mission, it's super similar to like Mario, I guess, is where it's like every mission something's added. And it just keeps stacking up and stacking up. And there's some things where it's like there's one where you have like a time travel gauntlet where you have to like go to the future or go to like present and then go into the past, like depending on the obstacle. Like in the present, there's like a collapsed doorway, so you go into the past and then the doorway is open. And then it's
It's
crazy.
pretty cool, actually.
It's like one of the best missions in the game. And then there's another one where it's just a completely parkour section where you have this like electricity gun where you just shoot buttons to like turn on fans to launch you across the map and like onto the next parkour section. It's so fun. It's great. It's just this super fun little section, and then you go like it'll do stuff like that where when you first get it, you do like the little parkour thing with it, and then next thing you know, you're in the like actual big part of the mission where you're fighting people, and you have to use that to like say you can or you don't have to use it. It's not something you need to use except for on parkour, but you can turn on robots that'll just help you fight the enemies and stuff like that. It's just cool stuff like that. And then you look at COD, where current Modern Warfare, the Modern Warfare that just came out or last year, it's really good. I really do like it. The campaign feels so much like the old CODs, and I love it. But then I don't even remember the other campaigns like Advanced Warfare because they're just super
basic.
weird. Yeah,
It's just
they're
war story.
weird. Yeah,
I'm gonna betray you.
yeah. And Ghost kind of goes on that,
another game.
but like at the same time, I still remember the ending of Ghosts where they set up a sequel, and then they just never did anything with it because
It's unfortunate.
no one liked Ghosts. Which was fair. It was like the breaking point where everyone's just like, we don't want this anymore. We want something different. But at the same time, like the story was great.
Yeah.
Like especially that ending.
That's
It was like a
unfortunate.
super
It's
twist
unfortunate
ending,
that
and it's just
they-
like, holy shit, this happened, and nothing happened with it because, yeah.
It's unfortunate how bad of a rep Ghosts got.
Yeah.
And
like it
but-
tried to switch everything. It tried to switch some stuff up with like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
heating
yeah.
angles. But at the same time, I completely understand why that was annoying because it's like you can only see someone's like shoulder and head when they kill you. It's like what the heck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The-
Where again, my point being like when I said Rainbow Six Siege, like they could have gone more strategic route. That same thing happens in Siege where you can lean. But
Yeah,
it
because
works.
that makes sense when you implicate it into a game like that where it's strategic and you
Mhm.
have to like
Yes.
keep your eye out for everything, for the
Mhm.
slightest details. It makes sense.
Yeah.
When it comes to a COD game where everything's moving constantly at like 100 miles per hour,
Mhm.
that doesn't work.
Yeah,
It's
having
just
to
broken.
having to pay attention to the smallest detail, it doesn't work in that type of game. Where if Ghost was more strategic and like a more stealthy game where like you're sneaking up on people and that's like the main point, it could have worked. It could have been great.
I'm sure it would have fit with the title a bit more too. But
Yeah, exactly. Ghost.
I'm sure
Like that's the whole point of the
if they-
campaign. Yeah.
I'm sure if they ever changed the formula to a strategic like that, it wouldn't go well. But if they added like a game mode
Mhm.
that was like that, I'm sure the game would get much praise because of that game mode. It would.
Yeah. And like it would be now that Rainbow Six Siege is super popular now. I don't think they can do it anymore because then they would get
No, they lost their opportunity.
Rainbow Six Siege is just so fucking good.
They're just gonna say it's
But I feel like it would still be. It would have been interesting to see what they would have done with that before. If they like it wasn't even a thing back then, so like I don't blame them. But it's just like looking back on it, it would have been cool. It would have been just super cool. It's like because like you look at Rainbow Six Siege, it's so fun to watch, even though it's so strategic and slow compared to COD.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to watch, honestly, because it's fun to see what
different ways to play.
Fun to see what people think in their strategies. Taking care of issues.
Yeah, and that's why I love Siege, and I wish I played it more than I do.
Yeah.
And then you're able to do such dumb stuff in Siege, and it'll still work.
Yeah.
No one expects it. No one expects a Tachanka to peek or spawn peek with a PMM.
Oh yeah. Back on Black Ops 3, they also, besides the movement thing, they also introduced that whole ultimate thing.
Yeah.
That was stupid. It doesn't work in a game like that.
The way it was, I like the concept because in like Black Ops 2, my favorite like kill streaks or score streaks, I forgot which one they had then, but my favorite was the death machine because you just get to run around with a minigun, and it's so fun to just, like even though it was horrible, like you die so fast, you're slower, you're gonna get killed. But for those like few seconds that you're able to just like gun people down before they even see you, it's a power trip. It's super fun. But it just happened too often in BO3 because you don't lose it when you die. You don't like you'll get it eventually, and when you do, you either get a free kill or more with like the gravity spikes. Have a one-shot revolver from any range, and then or the hive launcher where you just get to shoot it and you'll eventually get a kill. The Spectre one, which I liked, I feel like it was the most balanced of all of them.
Was that the knife one?
Yeah, it's the one where you just have it's like Commando Pro, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why kill streaks work so well is because it rewarded you for killing players.
Yeah.
It's a kill streak. As when you get a certain streak of kills, you get even more powerful items to help you keep on that roll that you're on. Keep that ball rolling. But what Black Ops 3 did is did they get rid of kill streaks in Black Ops 3?
No, they didn't, but it was really hard to get them.
They were very undermined.
Yeah. Or the main problem was that it's hard to get those big kill streaks because you're eventually going to get killed by someone else.
Exactly. Because the ultimate system, I always like myself a good like super powerful move you can pull off in order to change the tide of the game. That I can usually welcome those in almost any game. That's like a multiplayer aspect if it works well with the formula. This does not work well with the formula because, as you said, you don't lose it. You don't lose any kind of like charge or percentage you had on it when you die. You don't it keeps going, and even when you die, when you have it, it doesn't go away. That just completely ruins it. And with the fast-paced nature that Call of Duty offers and gives the player, what's basically going to be happening is you're going to wait 1 or 2 minutes into the game, everyone's going to have their ultimate, they're going to spam it, and then they're going to wait. until they have it again, then they're going to spam it, and then they're going to wait.
Mhm.
It just makes it such a boring path, such a boring play style. And it doesn't make sense in that kind of game where you have like 15 people on each team, all of them with guns, shooting each other, an explosion every like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
While
it
when you
is
look,
complete chaos.
yeah, while you look at a game that's like Overwatch or some other game that's team-based like this, it works well because it's supposed to be a strategic shooter game. When it comes to Overwatch, strategy is a bit less on that side because really it's just shoot and hope at this point.
Mhm.
But there is still a bit of strategy with using like your abilities and your
Yeah,
ultimate,
like-
especially.
Especially if
Some,
you see like a competitive game, people will save their
Exactly.
supers to do together so you can wipe the enemy and then
Yeah, so you
use
can completely change the tide of the game. If the other
Mhm.
person is about to get the point and they have like a 99% and you have a 98, use all your ultimates there in order to push them back, in order to
Mhm.
try and get them away so you can achieve the win. So you can
Yeah.
get that dub. And it works well there because it charges, it has a very long charge time usually, and when you do, and you don't lose it when you die, which is fine, but it's very, a lot of the ultimates are very different. They all have their different places in different ways you can use them. Diva, you use them to clear out a huge area of enemies. Tracer, you use it to clear a tank or just a group of smaller, less chunky enemies. And when it comes to like Ana, you can use it on like a very powerful ally in order to just soup them up and get them and wreck house.
Yeah.
But when you get to Black Ops 3, it's just kill. This kills a person for
Mhm.
free. Nothing
Yeah.
else.
and
Balls
especially in Overwatch, you're not like getting free kills with your
Mhm.
ultimate. Like you have to, like with Diva,
There's,
yeah,
there's
it's
always
a big
some risk.
nuke, but you can die because you
You're
only
very
have 150
vulnerable
health.
when you use it.
Yeah.
You're very vulnerable because you launch your suit forward, and for the entirety of the ultimate, you will only have 150 health. You only have a tiny little baby plasma gun,
and you have to
and you can
wait.
barely do
to
anything. You have to
get
wait
your
for the
thing.
for the machine to explode before you can get back into a new suit.
Yeah.
That's the risk it has. Tracer only has 150 health, but in order to use the bomb effectively, you have to get really close to the enemy. So you have to
Yeah.
get close and you have to
Which-
zip away.
Which you can do, of course. Tracer is, or she can just teleport to them and then
Yeah,
teleport
yeah.
back.
I know.
But
But it's
yeah.
still risky.
Yeah, it's and even then, yeah, you have to stick them. Like you can't miss with it, or will not kill unless they just walk over it. Which happens, but
Yeah.
and
So it works
yeah.
well in a game like that.
and in Black Ops, some of them do. Like Firebreak, yeah, you have to get fairly close to them, but then as soon as you hit them, they're dead.
Yeah.
With the Seraph gun, I think that's what the revolver was. It's one shot from any range, and as long as you hit that shot, you kill them. So there's not really any downside compared to any real normal gun.
That is
The Spectre, once again, the one that I feel like is the most balanced, you have to get close enough to melee them. And then
Yeah.
you only have like a little bit of time, or like maybe that first kill will be a fairly free kill because it's just one shot melee from very big range. But then after that, if you want to keep getting kills with it, you have to run up on someone and you have to surprise them, hopefully. And then
yeah.
Ruin, you have to get close to them. So that one has its downside. And yeah, but they just don't have enough of a downside for how effective they are. Where in Overwatch, like Hanzo, he's stuck in his spot while he's casting his super, and just stuff like that. It's not in COD because it wouldn't fit COD if you were super slow. But then again, the death machine, which I really liked in BO2, you were slower, you were able to get kills more effectively, but there's that upside downside still. Where in Black Ops 3, you get this fairly easily. You don't even need to be on a particular kill streak, and then you just get the kills. Like it's nothing else is different. Which just doesn't work as how an ultimate is in every game that it works.
Yeah. Another game that I like that has ultimates in it, and that I think it does fairly well, is Apex Legends. I think Apex Legends does a pretty good job with their ultimates. A lot of them aren't just like instant kill ultimates. Most of them are just strategic. This helps your allies, or this will help your allies, or this will fatigue, or like this will not benefit your enemy.
Yeah.
I can't find the word.
Yeah, no, it's like they're purely like boosts and or they just put you in a better position than the enemy. Is basically
Yes,
what they
and
do.
that works perfectly for that kind of game where it's battle royale.
It's a battle royale. Yeah.
It works perfectly. You can't have those kind of like kill moves like in other games in a battle royale. There's only 2 people who have that kind of stuff, and it's like Baltimore, which is like they throw like a thing that makes a bunch of missiles fall down, right?
Bangalore and Gibraltar. They both have airstrikes, or Bangalore. Bangalore is like a timed one, and Gibraltar just goes off.
Okay, yeah. It's weird. They pretty much have like the same thing, don't they?
Yeah, it's very similar. Unless they change it. I don't know. It's been a while since I played Gibraltar. And I feel like Gibraltar might be different now.
But I think that game does it fairly well.
Yeah.
Because another thing I like about it is that sometimes it's not just like only you that you can use it. Sometimes the enemy has an advantage when you do it.
Yeah.
Like Pathfinder, you literally make a brand new like little like
you just make
let's say Wraith. You just make a portal in order to help benefit your team and get move forward ahead.
Yeah, but it could also tell the enemy where you are.
Yeah.
So you need
but
to watch
enemies can also use it. Exactly. And so they all have their upsides and downsides.
Which fits the game. Where
it fits the
Black Ops 3,
that it is. Yeah.
It fits the game in Black Ops 3, but at the same time it doesn't, because it just gives you free kills. Where it just isn't the type of game that should have it.
Yeah, Black Ops. I know Call of Duty games are all about just like run and shoot and get kills, and it kind of complements the ultimates. Kind of complement that play style in a way, which makes sense why they are the way they are, because Call of Duty isn't some strategic game where you need to plan out everything. It's just run and shoot people. So giving people ultimates that just allow you to kill better, it makes sense for that game. It makes sense. I understand why they did that, but it still just doesn't work for some. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's really strange.
Yeah, it's just... It was a weird decision on an otherwise fairly good game. It was still fun. It was still something you can enjoy. Like, you can just sit down and spend a few hours, or just play a few games and enjoy. But then it just didn't feel right for like Black Ops 2. I absolutely loved that game. I spent hours and hours of my time, even though I was like such a little kid. Like, I would just spend so many hours just having fun, getting like 0.5 KDs with my Ballista or DSR, trying to get gold. It was just so fun, and I just can't have that anymore with the more recent CODs. Like, even in Modern Warfare, like I get why people like it, because is like one of the best CODs in a long time. But it's just not. That doesn't feel the same.
Yeah. I can see. As I said, I unfortunately cannot really relate to you much because I never grew up with all these Call of Duties and these these Xboxes and these PlayStations. I was a Nintendo boy all the way through. I still am. I still really like Nintendo, and I just grew up with Nintendo games and Nintendo's stuff. I never really had much of anything else.
Yeah.
So I can't really relate.
Yeah, whereas I grew up with like COD and Halo. Like, and
They're polar up.
I mean, I may end up weirder for it, but at the same time, God, just playing those campaigns, even though I was a little kid, they made me appreciate games and like storytelling in a video game. Even though the main point of it is like, oh yeah, you're killing people and you're fighting. But then the story completely changes that, and it's like, yeah, I'm fighting for the safety of others.
Yeah.
It's just like that's in all CODs, of course. But the stories that were told in like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 1, all or 2, 3, 4, yeah, they were so great. And again, that came back in Modern Warfare, like the recent Modern Warfare. But it was missing for so long. And then Black Ops 4 didn't even get a campaign, which was like,
oh yeah, that's true.
bad.
They completely dropped the campaign for their really bad.
their Battle Royale, which could have been good. Like it was still fun to play, but
it was fun, but it was very basic.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
Yeah, it was a PUBG that was easier to get into, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because
it was
you
just PUBG, but
you already have the COD game that you bought, and then you also have this Battle Royale. Whereas PUBG is just PUBG, and it's like, if you end up not liking it, there's nothing else in PUBG that you can really do. At least, as far as I know. I haven't played PUBG forever. And then Black Ops 4, you have multiplayer and zombies. Which, BO3 zombies, super good. It felt just like zombies should, and even better, because the weapons were crazy good. I loved them. Like the Der Eisendrache, like by far one of my favorite maps or zombies ever. And then you have the bows, the two badass bows that you have to build from the ground up, basically. And it's like, or you get the arrows, or whatever. It's still hell fun, like crazy fun.
I remember one day, I used to go to this kids club at my elementary school because my parents weren't able to pick me up. That was before I started going to put grandparents stuff, before like after school and stuff. And I remember a lot of the kids there were able to like brought their Nintendo DSs and stuff, and I would always like watch them play their games because my parents would never let me bring mine. And so I was very mad. And I was very annoyed. So I just watched people play theirs. And I was like captivated. And then like one day, I saw a person in there playing fucking Modern Warfare 3 on their Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
There's a Modern Warfare 3 version for Nintendo DS.
Yeah, there was a COD Ghosts on the Wii U.
Dude, that just like that's crazy to me that that it got to the popularity point where they adapted it for the fucking Nintendo DS.
Yeah, like if I'm
That's
not mistaken, there was a Black Ops Zombies on the DS, I think. I'm not sure. Right.
And I remember seeing it in like a GameStop too, just like in like that Nintendo DS game like case they have where they just keep all the loot and
Yeah,
cartridges.
there was
I
some
just
type
thought
of COD
it was worth it.
zombies. Yes, it was Black Ops Zombies on DS. Yeah.
God.
Yeah. God, it's just
Really screaming.
it's so sad to look back on like the two game series that I just cherished when I was a kid, and just like looking at them now, and it's just like so sad. Cause like even Halo, like under 343, it's just nothing like it.
I can relate to that completely with the Mario and Luigi RPG game.
Mm-hmm.
My first ever RPG and one of my first games on my Nintendo DSi was Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, and I loved that game to death.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I never finished it while I was younger because I broke my DS like an imbecile. But I broke it because the L and R buttons stopped working because there was like dust in them. And my little kid brain was like, I wonder why they stopped doing that. Let me spit into them. And it worked for a while. I spit into my L and R buttons whenever they stopped working. But then eventually the top screen just went blank. And the bottom screen did the same thing soon. And now my DSi won't power on for more than like half a second.
Oh no.
So it's completely fucked. But yeah, I was unfortunately not able to play that game until way many years later when my Oma, my grandma, my great grandma, got me a Nintendo 3DS as a gift. I don't remember if it was for a specific holiday, but I remember she got it, me and my brother that, and we were stoked. We loved that thing to death. And I eventually found my old DS games, and I finally finished Bowser's Inside Story, and I thought it was the coolest fucking thing ever. I loved it so much. I thought it was so cool how you like the final battle. It's really cool. I just have a lot of love for it and that game in general. And then they created another addition to the series, Mario and Luigi Dream Team, which I thought was amazing as well. I thought that game was really fun. It was very unfair in a lot of places, but I thought it was really fun. Like just the way they worked, like with dreams stuff, and I thought it was just cool. And then they made. I was really excited because I heard somewhere like they're making another one, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited! I can't wait to see what it is. And they came out with Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, a crossover between Mario and Luigi and Paper Mario. And I thought, dude, that is so cool. I played the original Paper Mario on my Wii Virtual Console, and I loved that game as well. I wasn't very far in it, but I liked it a lot. And then when that game came out, I asked for it for Christmas, and I waited until Christmas, and I got it. And then I played it, and like in the first hour, I just was like, this is shit. This is terrible. What happened? And then I learned later, like, oh, like, Dream Team wasn't doing too hot for them. They're kind of in a rough spot. And then, like, soon after, it's just like, yeah, Alpha Dream, the people who are making these games, has gone bankrupt, and yeah, they have to shut down.
Yeah.
And that was really sad for me, because I was like, this is my childhood company, and they're bankrupt, and now there's no more games in the series.
Yeah,
no more.
That's how I felt when I played Halo 4. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, like coming off playing Halo Reach for years. I actually, I don't know when Halo 4 came out, but I know I got it because I grew up with Halo. Like, I played Halo 3 and Reach. I don't know if Halo 2 or Halo 3 came out before or after I was born. Whatever. Point is, I played it so much. And then Halo 4 comes out, and I'm like, holy shit, I gotta play this. And I remember playing it, and it's like, why does everything look so weird? And it was just also weird. I did not know that 343 wasn't Bungie. I wasn't a big enough kid to realize how companies worked, and that Bungie had moved on to make Destiny, which I'm happy they did because I love Destiny, but at the same time,
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it just I hope Halo Infinite it brings back that nostalgia. I hope it's at least close to how Halo Reach is, because I know it still has like armor abilities and stuff, but I still love Halo Reach. I'll be completely fine if it's just like that.
Yeah. When I could definitely tell when Alpha Dream was like losing money and they weren't doing this hot anymore, because they made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mario and Luigi games, not including remakes. They made 5 of them, and almost each one had a unique style. The first 4, actually, well, each one had like a unique kind of artistic style. Superstar Saga, which was the one for the Game Boy Advance, looked amazing. I thought it looked really good for Game Boy Advance, and they did a really good job. Very expressive characters and like animations and very cartoony look that I liked. And then they made Partners in Time, and everyone completely like forgets about Partners in Time. And then they made Bowser's Inside Story, which used a lot of assets and it used the style of Partners in Time a lot. But considering everyone completely neglected Partners in Time, I can excuse them for that. Yeah. Because later on they made Dream Team, and the way they did that one is they made 3D models and then they just made pixel art out of those 3D models, and it looked really good. It flowed, and the animations were as good as ever. They still looked really good, very expressive characters as always. But then Paper Jam came out, and it was supposed to be a completely different direction from the series, but it looked the exact same. It had reused graphics, like assets, and you could see that, like, yeah, this is starting to cheapen down a bit. There's not as much care as that you saw in like Dream Team or Inside Story or Superstar Saga for that matter. And then after that game, they made remakes of Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story, because fuck Partners in Time. We don't care about them. And then Superstar Saga, it had the exact same asset as Dream Team and Paper Jam. And then Bowser's Inside Story had the exact same assets as Superstar Saga remake, I keep saying Color Spot, Paper Jam, and Dream Team. They were using assets. They were reusing them for 3 straight games in the series forever. And the only change they ever did was some lighting changes. They made it so, when you're in the lava zone, Mario is a bit more, 2% more orange than before. That's pretty much the most they did, like, with it. And it was so sad, like, seeing them go on this downward, like, just downward slope until just complete bankruptcy. And it's just so sad and unfortunate. And I was just so displeased, but I'm still happy for the games that they made. They made 4 really good games, and I'm very proud of that. I will just completely ignore Paper Jam and the 2 remakes. I'll just think of the first 4 games, because those are the only ones worth talking about.
Yeah. God, I'm trying to think of other things.
Yeah.
Oh my god, bruh. Black and white Pokemon.
Black and white. Oh, I'm so sad. Like, going back, I'm like looking at a lot. I've been watching a lot of Pokemon related content on YouTube recently. And looking back on it, I'm so sad that I never got into Pokemon, because it seemed like it was such a fun thing to get into when you're younger. Pokemon seemed like such a fun thing to get into. Because nowadays, I cannot get into a single game. I cannot. It just seems. I just can't. I think I've just outgrown it before I've even played it once. Like, legitimate. And that's really sad and unfortunate because I always wanted to. I think I've told you this story, but I was going to go buy a Pokemon game at GameStop with my mom, and I was so excited because, like, my friends are constantly talking about Pokemon. I've been wanting to play Pokemon, so I'm gonna go to GameStop to buy a Pokemon game for my Nintendo DS. And right in front of me was Pokemon Black version and a spin-off game called Pokemon Ranger. I bought Pokemon Ranger thinking that was the legitimate version. I was mistaken. Instead, it was a Beyblade ripoff where you spun your little ripoff Beyblade around Pokemon and then you caught them. Crazy! It was actually pretty fun. I liked the game.
No, Pokemon
Really
Ranger.
sad.
I mainly just played like Black and White. That's like the only one I really got into. And ever since, like, I played through like at least half of the games. And like, but I really wish I did play Pokemon like Ranger and stuff, like all like the little not mainline games, but they were still so good. I've heard. Like
Yeah, Pokemon Ranger.
they had personalities.
I liked it when I was little, but I was really shit at it, so I didn't really get far.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I lost the game card a long time ago, so I can't play it anymore. I'll have to order it again. Order a new copy or whatever, even if that exists out there. But it's really unfortunate because I probably could beat that game now, considering my skill level and how much I've evolved as a game.
No, I hear super good things about it, and then like Pokemon Ranger and Coliseum, I think are the two. Like they still have like a lot of backing, but I don't know if any new games have come out for them. Like since like the original DSs. So
yeah,
it's like still I still remember playing Black and White, just my neighbor Nico with his Game Shark or whatever. I don't know. just hacking in a bunch of Pokemon. It was so fun.
I remember for my Nintendo Wii, I had Pokemon. Well, it wasn't for Wii. It was for GameCube. It was Pokemon Coliseum or something like that. And I always wanted to play it because that was, again, one of the only Pokemon games I had in my entire house, and I always wanted to play it. But whenever I put it inside of my Wii, because it was backwards compatible with GameCube games, I always started it up, and I was always confused because it said you need a GameCube controller, and I was always just like, what? Why do I need a GameCube controller? And then it was so stinky because for years I never realized that the top flap of the Wii could open up, and you could plug in GameCube controllers. I was so confused, and I didn't know why. It was so strange. And then years later, after I found out about it, I lost it. I don't know where it is now.
Oh my!
It's probably somewhere in my home, deep in the dank depths of wherever it is. And I also lost the original Animal Crossing for GameCube too, which is unfortunate because that looked really fun, and I always wanted to try that.
Can't believe you.
I know, it was really unfortunate, but I did happen to keep Mario Super Strikers, which is a really fun soccer game with Mario characters. That was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds stupid, but it's really enjoyable. Surprising.
I don't know. I genuinely wish I played more Nintendo games because I have just like no idea.
I know.
What
It's
these words
unfortunate.
are. Yeah.
We both have our thing. You want to play more Nintendo. You wish you played more Nintendo. I wish I was able to play more early Xbox and PlayStation, because the most PlayStation I had was a PlayStation, and that was like the only PlayStation I could actually play on.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was fine. We didn't have many games that I enjoyed. Most of them were games that my dad enjoyed, or games that I couldn't play. I never liked like the Tony Hawk skater games. I never got into them. He had a lot of sports game on him. I don't like the sports game he has on him. And we used to have Spyro the Dragon on him, and that was like the only one I would play on PlayStation. But then we lost it. And then I was trying to find another copy of it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna find Spyro the Dragon for PlayStation 1. I'm gonna play it again. So I went to GameStop. I was like, yeah, put Spyro the Dragon. They're like, yeah, we do. And they handed me a disc. And I was like, okay, cool. And I bought it. And then I came home, and it wasn't Spyro the Dragon. It was Spyro the Dragon New Beginning. And instead of a good game, it was bad. It was actually a really bad game. It wasn't fun in the slightest. And so I got really mad. Yeah. And then, like, he also had San Andreas on there. I still want to try out San Andreas. I just never got into it. I don't know. I just was too paranoid that my parents would walk in on me in the middle of Andreas. So
God. That's how it felt playing GTA 5, because sometimes when you're done with the mission, you'll just spawn in the strip club. There's like at least one, maybe two missions. Because at one point in the game, Trevor's main area is the strip club, and that's where you're planning your heist or whatever. So I was terrified to play GTA 5. For like that few day gap where I was in that heist. Ooh, man.
My main consoles I had growing up was my first console was a Nintendo DSi. And my second one was a Nintendo Wii. Then we got a PlayStation 3. And then we had almost nothing for years. And then we finally got a PlayStation 4, but I never played on it. And then I eventually finally got an Xbox One. And very happy with it. I very much like my Xbox. It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, you joined our side.
I know. I joined the dark side.
Wait, no. We're the light side.
No. Shush. Okay, PlayStation's like the dark side more.
Yeah. I don't know. Neither of them are bad. I don't
They have their benefits.
I wish that console-specific games didn't exist, because I really want to play the Spider-Man game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I just can't. And the same with the Infamous games. There was a time, or there was like a maybe a few week time where I was watching a bunch of playthroughs of like Infamous and Infamous 2 and Infamous Second Son and stuff. And then I was so sad. I was like, God, these games look so nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, the entire selling point of a PlayStation really is exclusives. They don't. Their online is fine, but you really buy a PlayStation, you can play exclusive games, and then you buy an Xbox for online, and then you buy a Nintendo Switch for Nintendo Switch reasons. I don't know.
Oh yeah, then also another thing with Destiny, which I've been fucking hooked on for 6 years now. For the longest time, it was a PlayStation exclusive, or not exclusive, but like there'd be specific things where you can only do on PlayStation, and I hated it because there was some of the best exotics ever in the game were on PlayStation. like Hawk Moon, Zen Meteor, which I know these names don't mean anything to you, but basically, Hawk Moon was a hand cannon that had a really low chance, but a chance to one-tap headshot. Because it had 3 random shots in the mag that would do extra damage. Or, the better way to say it is, it's 3 random damage boosts. Because you can get all 3 of them on one bullet. And you just one-tap someone. And it got nerfed before it came to Xbox, which all these weapons came to Xbox a year later. So, Hawk Moon, I didn't get to use it when it was good. I think Fourth Horseman was also one of them, where it's just a rapid-fire shotgun. And it was just really high DPS because it's just unload 5 rounds out of the shotgun in half a second. And they were all so cool, and even the strikes, all these things were so unique, but they were only on PlayStation, and it made me mad.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to be happy about that.
I remember I had a Steam phase when I had a computer, a laptop, and that was my Steam phase. It lasted for about 6 months before I broke my laptop, but because I was the stupid child, and yeah, but I remember I had that Steam phase, and I loved it, and because that was the first time I played Subnautica. It was the first time I played Stardew Valley, and that was my first experience with, I played Undertale in that thing too, and that was my first experience with Team Fortress 2, which I would soon, after playing that game, become really infatuated with it, and to this day, I'm yearning for me to finally make my computer so I can just play Team Fortress 2 again.
Yeah.
Because I swear to God, I was terrible at it, but I loved it. It was so fun to do.
Give me a sec. Just I don't know. Tell a sad story about your laptop, whatever.
Oh, my laptop. Yes. So, laptop story time. I was playing Team Fortress 2 one day. A man versus machine. I was dancing around with people. And then my little brother comes into the room, and he's watching me dance as Demo Man, and he's like, "That's really cool." And then he accidentally yanks on the terabyte hard drive, that external terabyte hard drive that I had connected, that had all my stuff on it, because it's a laptop, and laptops barely have any memory or storage. So I was just, and then it completely crashed the game because it got unplugged. Not even unplugged, it got yanked and slightly unplugged, so it was both pulled at, which probably damaged the hard drive a bit, but it was also just, it just unplugged as well, so it crashed the game. I got very mad and upset, but I understood it was an accident by him, and then I tried to play it again, but it wouldn't open at all, and so I was just like, okay, what do I do? I don't want to lose this. And so my instant thought is, okay, I need to free up storage on my my computer so I can just use the games on there. Put the games on there because my hard drive just stopped working. So I tried to look for files that were taking up space, but I was just like, there's nothing that's taking up space. It's literally just the computer itself. And then I was just like, okay, what if I do a factory reset? And I reset everything to 0. And maybe I won't have a data issue like this, or storage issue. And I did that, and it worked. I had more storage, and I was very happy. But naturally, as all laptops do, it just got more storage. It just had less storage again magically. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll do it again. And I did it again. It worked. And then third time, it happened again. And so, okay, time to get to the grind. Gonna do it again. And then I did it this time. But then suddenly, it just completely stopped. And I was just confused. I was like, what? Why did it stop? Why did it stop while in the middle of a factory reset? And so I'm trying to like fix this, and I'm trying to find out what's happening. And then it just shuts off. I turn it on. It turns on, but it doesn't seem to have an operating system anymore. Windows is completely gone from it. And I'm confused, and I'm sitting there, and it's just like checking an analysis. It's just checking analysis, seeing what the problem is, and then I'm just waiting for the bar to fill. Like, please tell me I can download Windows again. Please tell me there's a backup. And then it's just like the second the bar fills, it's just like loading, and then a loud beep just plays, like really loud, and that like scared the ever-living shit out of me, and it just shut off again, and then it repeated the same process, and I just had to completely shut off the computer in order to stop it. And so now that computer sits on my bookshelf, completely inoperable. I'm afraid to throw it away because maybe one day it'll start working, but yeah, I don't know. I've asked a couple of friends I have, why isn't this working? Can you please tell me? And they're just like, yeah, I don't know. It's not a hardware issue. It's got to be something on the software end, so we don't know. So yeah, I can't do anything about it. It's just kind of sitting there collecting dust. So that's unfortunate, but I'm being cool, and I'm trying to make my own computer out of parts from websites. It's taking a very long time because I do not have a stable source of income at the moment, but I'm working my hardest.
Yeah. My old laptop was just didn't have a battery. If you accidentally, like not even touching the wire, if it just moves, turns off. So I couldn't play any games. And I had a Steam phase where the wire wasn't completely fucked yet, where it would just do that. Where I played like CS:GO. It was fun, and I got skins for it, like maybe $20 worth, I think, around.
Yeah.
And hey, it helped me.
Oh yeah, didn't it pile up in interest now?
Yeah. Now that I just got my computer for the first that I can actually use for the first time in 5 years, it was just like $60 or so worth of skins, and I was able to just spend it on Destiny 2.
Nice.
Yeah, it was bug. It was good memories of just surfing and shit. I don't know if you know what surfing is, but it's basically just...
Oh yeah, I know. I know.
Cool parkour. Yeah.
Don't worry, I've watched some raccoon eggs before. I know what it is.
Yeah, it was super fun. And that was my first Steam phase. Now I'm in my second Steam phase where, like, I have a PC now, so I use Steam. And it's Pog. And I love it. Because now Destiny 2 is on Steam. Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah. What, so far, would you say is your game of 2020? It doesn't have to be a game that was released this year. It just has to be a game that you're playing this year a bunch. That was not Destiny 2. That is not...
Okay. I would have to say probably... I don't know, because I haven't played many games other than Destiny 2.
Yeah.
But probably Sea of Thieves. Like,
oh, definitely.
Yeah. Sea of Thieves with you and Alex is so fun. And even though that's like fairly recent, it's really the only other game other than like probably Among Us that I've played
Mhm.
other than Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For me, Sea of Thieves is a very close one, but this year is the year I played through completely Hollow Knight, and God, do I love that game
Yeah.
so much. I've I haven't played it. I haven't been playing it nearly as much. I still have some stuff to do in it before I can get completion, like 112% completion in it. But I'm very close to that. But it's so far just my favorite game of the year. I love it a lot. But Sea of Thieves is very close too, because I just really think Sea of Thieves is very fun with other
Yeah.
people.
I wish we started playing earlier and like just got into it a few months ago and we could have just kept being pirates or whatever. But it's fun when it's just been fun and it's really enjoyable. And holy shit, it's been an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
I think this will wrap us up on today's episode of the Crapcast, episode 2, question mark?
Edition. Yeah.
Gaming edition, episode 2, question mark, gaming edition.
2.5 because technically we have
Two-
our secret lost episode.
2.32.
2.3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, see you guys later. Don't forget to smash that
Jesus.
funny button.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Smash
enjoy
the
yourselves. Have a nice day, everyone.
Alright.
Did you end it?
Not yet.
Oh no!